I rise on behalf of the party Kakariki to strongly oppose this bill because this is a bill that is hard to justify. There is no justification on why this bill needs to be introduced into this House in the first place. We have seen and heard throughout the select committee stage, throughout the committee stage, of the harm that this will cause to our Tamariki for generations to come. But let's look at the bill first. One of the fundamental protection and bottom line that is being removed as a result of the repeal of 7AA is the reporting requirement by the chief executive of Oranga Tamariki. There is a reason why that responsibility and why that reporting mechanism needs to be there in the first place, because our Tamariki, our Mokopuna have been hurt in the system. There needs to be some form of accountability. There needs to be some form of transparency. We have heard from the minister that those reporting mechanisms will remain, but that is not what we have seen, and that is not what we have been told from those on the ground, because one of the fundamental aspects around reporting on disparities will not be reported on, because there is now no longer a legal obligation for the chief executive to report on that. That is a problem. We have heard from the minister over and over again anecdotal evidence, singular evidence, but not empirical evidence. Never once was addressed the countless of people, from legal experts, from those who have been harmed in the system, from community organizations on the ground who are working with these people, from strategic partners. Never was once mentioned their opposition to this bill. Even in the anecdotal evidence that was presented, we have heard and was reported to us that those are not even 7AA cases. They are not relevant to the bill that we're currently even talking about. That is not genuine. We are supposed to be an evidence-based House. When we are talking about bills, they are based on solid empirical evidence, and that is not what we have seen when this bill, as we're going through third reading, as this bill becomes law. Throughout the committee stage, Mr. Speaker, we have questioned over and over again, what is our tutility obligation? We've heard the fact that this repeal fundamentally misunderstands the role of Tikanga Māori, fundamentally misunderstands the relationship that our Tamariki, that our Mokopuna have within Te Ao Māori, within the ecosystem of the Māori worldview. Mr. Speaker, Māori and also Tamariki, in this case, all Tamariki are considered taonga. In Chinese culture, from my area, we have a similar term. We call our Tamariki bao, which literally translates to treasure. The idea of Tamariki, of our future generation, as taonga, as treasure, is a universal concept. We know for a fact that when we are looking at Aotearoa, when we're looking at the system that is presented to us, we know what is good for Māori is good for everyone else. This bill does nothing to reflect that. We have heard from multiple of our colleagues in this House when questioning the minister on what is the role of iwi, what is the role of whānau and hapu and iwi in this. There's a fundamental misunderstanding as well around what that strategic partner meant. We heard from our colleagues of the beauty that could come out of that strategic partnership. And we are worried that the repeal of this bill will see the diminishment of some of that collaboration and much needed healing from generations, from centuries of trauma. We have heard from multiple sources, from legal experts, from the Waitangi Tribunal, that this bill fundamentally breaches the utility of Waitangi.
Can I ask members to not have conversations? Apologies to the member, I would like members to not have conversations across the chamber. Dr. Xu-Nan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. What is our vision for the future of Aotearoa? I would have thought that our vision is to protect our Tamariki. Our vision, collectively, is to protect our Mokopuna. We have heard from the report on abuse in state and faith-based care, like what Honourable Willow Jean Prime just mentioned before, grown men breaking down, talking about the experience they had in our care system. One of the things that's fundamentally addressed as part of that is the strained or broken whakapapa and the violence and the ill treatment that we have seen in the system. And this is one of the reasons, Mr. Speaker, that 7AA exists in the first place. We have seen for too long stolen lives, unmarked souls as a result of our system. And Māori has been disproportionately affected by that system. Mr. Speaker, when are we going to stop sacrificing our mokopuna and our tamariki for a capitalist system that they did not ask for? When we are looking at the system, there has been far too often that we trade the hopes and dreams of our future generation for a quick buck right now. Shame. Shame. Why do we need to do that? Why do we need to sacrifice our mokopuna as a result of this? It is not just the repeal of 7AA. It is the shocking quality and substance of our school lunches. It is the allowance for us to continuously commercialize and privatize our early childhood education system. It is the deprioritization of fertility in Section 127 of the Education and Training Act. It is the removal of resource teachers, Māori and resource teachers literature. It is all of these things, underfunding of a kohanga reo, of a kura in this system. These things do not operate in isolation, Mr. Speaker. And it is one particular party that we've seen over and over and over again that is willing to sacrifice our mokopuna for a quick buck. Willing to sacrifice our mokopuna for their capitalist gains, for their monopolization, for their commercialization of everything that is supposed to be a public good. Mr. Speaker, an institution is never a home. A home is within a whānau hapu iwi. The belonging of Tonga in safe and loving whānau.
And just before you go there, more from Phoenix, Ashes and Co. The disabled in every country are mistreated in the terms of rights. Keep the fighting. Much love from the UK.
Thank you so much, Phoenix. All my love to you in the UK too. Thank you so much.
That's my English whānau over there.
Yeah, exposed. Yeah. I'm glad we've actually exposed the world to our own parliament.
And this is the thing.
Just want to point out something really quickly. Note who was there in the Green Party, standing up for Kiwi kids. We had Franceska from the Philippines. We had Lawrence from China and Ricardo from Mexico. Why are they're fighting hard to protect Kiwi kids and keep them out of foster care? Bloody hard. They're doing more than what Karen's doing.
And I think, you know what, this is actually an international sort of issue, and I'm really glad that Phoenix came on board and actually spoke about like being part of this conversation as well. So thank you so much, Phoenix. But what's happening with Indigenous and all types of countries, and then again, who's utilising it to make it into a race war? Again, like Lawrence said, in his language, it also means treasure. And again, he didn't say just our children. And again, I'll say Tonga doesn't just mean our children; it means our children.
Just notice the X section of the chamber, which is where, which I will put on here, is where my mouse is. You will notice is quite empty at the moment at this point on the speech. So the minister obviously couldn't even stick around for 3 speeches on Wednesday night.
And I'll tell you right now, I could feel the passion in Lawrence's heart. I could feel that. And again, it's not just about Māori children, and it's about all of our children, because when some children aren't doing well, that means all of our children aren't doing well. So it's in the best interest for all of us to love our children together. And again, to me, it's like not having accountability. And if I can just say on my behalf, I'm someone who was trafficked here in Aotearoa, New Zealand. And so if we're not going to have that information and the statistics and what's happening with those children there, I'll tell you right now, I know what happens to those children. And this is exactly the issue, that we need to be accountable and make sure our children are protected.
Thanks for watching. Make sure you're subscribed to our Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok, News Guide, The Order Paper Podcast. YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok.